Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm continuing my series where I take a look at Letters from the Dark by Chris Powell. These are expansions or zines specifically written for ShadowDark, and volume 2 is called The Slayer's Moon. In these books there tends to be an adventure, a new class, new monsters, some changes to the rules, so it sort of changes up the existing ShadowDark adventures. I've already looked at volume 1, so I'm going to carry on the series looking at volume 2. So far I've got 8, so there will be more coming up over the next few weeks. As ever, I'm just going to start with where you can pick it up from. So it is currently available on RPG on PDF and softcover. You can pick up the PDF for that's just over £6, and at time of recording, if you go to just over £9, probably about $11–12 somewhere around there, you can pick up the PDF and the softcover for the same price of just picking up the softcover. If you do decide to pick up this or any other books on RPG, please do use my affiliate link because it does help me pay for these, because I had to buy I didn't have to buy all 8 of them, but I did buy all 8 volumes to, obviously I can then show them on the channel and I can use them and play them, etc. But obviously it does just help me then put that money towards buying other things to review on the channel. This book it's 70 pages, so it's slightly longer than volume 1. I think volume 1 was about 58, and it does include all the maps for the sort of the key locations. I didn't show the maps in volume 1, so I apologise for that. And quick caveat, I did say I think 2 of the locations you'd have to use Theatre of the Mind. They are included in the map pack, so I'm sorry. Okay, so what's included in volume 2? We've got it's an adventure and a hex crawl in the Lugos Valley, which technically is a sort of vampiric. There's a sort of a vampire and a lich that are kind of in love, but also love rivals, if that makes sense. So there's a bit of a immortal fight going on, so shall we say. The new martial class is here, which is the Slayer class, or it's pretty much like a Witcher, the way it's read to me. We've got new priest options, to new spells that can replace undead, some new witch spells, 4 fortunes, which is a card game that you can use it to sort of write adventure ideas or predict the future or fate of the PCs, and then a load of new monsters, as well as a few other rules and stuff. So I'll just go over that now. Before we get into the book, if you like this sort of thing, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So here we have the front cover of the book. So I'm going to show you the maps, but I'll go through the maps when I get to the players out section, which is, into the spoily sort of bit. Because if you are going to play this, I kind of want you to sort of sit in on the video, watch it, and if you like the idea of it, go and buy it. Either buy it or tell your games master to go and buy it. But obviously, if you're going to play this, there's a certain section you kind of want to get out. So we'll go through the maps then. Front cover of this isn't very ShadowDark. A lot of books do have that ShadowDark feel, the black and white, so black background with white images and stuff. And as I said on the first one, I do find it quite strange. There is no sort of, this is affiliated, you would have no way of really knowing this is actually written for ShadowDark. So let's get into the book itself. Written and designed here by Chris Powell, and this is the bit where you can find it is designed for use with ShadowDark. All of the books, I say all of the books, 100% of the books I've read so far, which is 2, have this letter here. So it's done from I'm giving information about what I've discovered, which is an interesting take on the book. Right, so content itself. So we're going to go through front matter, which is here, into introduction, content. The character class, it's in this book, it's the Slayer class. Then some new game skill masteries. We've got disease, night terrors, and the 4 fortunes card game. We then get into the Valley of Lugos, which is a hex crawl map, the castle itself, and some details about what's going on in the castle, and then new monsters, vampires, which is good. Right, so if you're a player, you're still all right for now, so you don't need to leave. This feels very much witchery type class. Maybe Solomon Kane. It's got that sort of feel to it. We've got the Slayer class, so grizzled dragon hunters, studious vampire slayers, and fiend smiting champions who have dedicated their study to the destruction of monsters. Weapons are going to come with crossbows, daggers, holy water, and then there's a new section here. Or should have said, it's all hyperlinked, which is really good. So we just hyperlink back to the Slayer class. And there's hyperlinks actually in the book here, which is what reminded me. So this will take me to the new weapons section. D6 hit points, a little bit stronger, but not totally. Any language of their prey that they're hunting. The tactician, they may use their int instead of strength or dex on attack rolls. So you don't need to sort of go that beefy type character. It means you can, if you're lucky enough to get a high intelligence, it's going to still make it quite easy to hit people. Prey, so this is good because it does change. Well, you can have additional ones. So you'll choose a category off this prey table here. And this is going to give you a language and an ongoing ability. And you get to sort of pick it at first level. You can roll it if you want to, but you tend to pick this. So this is the thing that you hate. So if you're hunting demons, you're going to get the diabolic language and you're going to take half damage from fire. And these are permanent effects. And it's in effect even when you're not hunting that prey. And as you go up levels, when you get more, you can choose to roll again on this table or take your Slayer talents. It's really up to you which way you want to go. And I like these prey things. They're really quite interesting. Like in the first one and in ShadowDark, the main rulebook, you are going to get Slayer titles depending on lawful, chaotic, or neutral alignment. The new weapon section, which is what really reminds me of sort of witchery type characters. You're going to be fighting with holy water here, Van Helsing style, but section on silver weapons. So they're going to cost 10 times the base cost for weapons or ammunition. So they are going to be costly, but they are going to do so much more additional damage to certain types of creatures. Priest options, so these spells will look to replace the turn undead, again with Games Master's permission. Allow them. I think the more options and the more interesting options the player has, I just, if you're going to buy this book, you're going to want to encourage players to use them. It's things like you can bind undead this time, so instead of it running away, you can get them to work alongside you for a period of time. We've then got new witch spells, which will, so again, more options for the witch, including the walk-in hut spell here. Okay, you got a tier 5, so you've got to be around for quite a while. But I just love the sort of Baba Yaga inspired walking hut that you can take. And if you're a witch at 5th level, you're going to want a walking hut. Every witch needs a walking hut. And went into game mastery here, so new tools for Games Master. So as a player, you're absolutely fine looking at these for a moment in time. New diseases that are going to come into the game, and these are crippling and murdersome. So the disease rules are nice and simple. The players will make a con check. If they fail their con check, then the bad thing will happen on the effect here. Every 24 hours or in the morning, depending on when you're going to decide to do it, they'll make that con check again. If they fail, they will again take the effect. And if they pass it, they're cured. Nice and simple. So if you get, for example, here, 7, you can randomly roll it on a d8, giving them out to players, but you're going to want to probably tie them into certain things. So you've got this ruin rot here. So inhaling dust from abandoned ruins, it's going to give, it's 15, so it's quite hard to pass. And they're going to lose a d4 con damage every single day until they pass it. And if they ever get to 0 constitution, they are dead. Nice. Night terrors. So when adventuring, if the sun goes down in Lugos, the players will have night terrors. So this is just a random table that you will roll to give some, it's more of a feel of, unnervingness that the players are going to have, shown they're not going to get like a decent night's sleep, etc. Just to sort of bring on the foreshadowing of what's to come. And then I think before we get into the adventure, yes. So we've got 4 fortunes, which is this. It's kind of like a tarot reading type card game where you can use a normal deck of cards. It'll give you where you put them out, whether you're going north, east, south, or west, which suits and which card will determine sort of which, the sort of order that it comes out and the story that you're going to sort of play from there. So you can use it for writing adventures, interpreting ideas for players and characters and things like that. So, right, we're now going to look at the adventure from 5th to 7th level. So if you're a player and you've seen enough, you're welcome to leave. If you're a games master, please do stick around for I like this adventure. But then I'm a massive vampire fan. I like werewolves. I really like Solomon Kane, that sort of darkness in the world. And this adventure, combined with the hex crawl, has all of this in spades. So, say for me, I was instantly in. So, as your player, if you're gone by now, perfect. Right, let's just go and have a look at what's in here. So, we're going to start off with a hex crawl. And as you'd expect from a standard hex crawl, so you've got your numbers at the top and then numbers down the bottom. There are a variety of key locations in here that the players can go out and discover. And then you've got your key things like your main castle and, the castle gates and stuff like that. And then I'm not going to teach you how to hex crawl, because obviously how to hex crawl is in the core rulebook of ShadowDark. But so there's quite a lot of good encounters in here. The rumours as well will also take them to certain areas in the forest, one of which is false. But it's like, as they go through, they will have seen a sort of meteor hitting, which is over here, so 006, which may or may give them some form of magical items. So you've got zone encounters and random encounters for people, monsters, beasts, and undead. There is a player map as well that you can hand out to the players, which is completely blank, for them to just go and discover the forests, tracks and roads, etc. And as we go through, there are maps for it's the map for the castle, basically. So we've got the basement here. There is colour and black and white, so you can upload these onto whatever VTT that you use. We've then got the basement of the the ground floor of the castle, and then the second floor, which confused me initially. I was like, this is all blurred, but it's not. It's just showing that obviously you can peer down. I then reread the castle and I went, oh yeah, you can kind of see down onto the floor. Okay, so those are your maps. So the key for the max, as you can imagine, it's just going to sort of take you through. So here we go. This is what I'm saying about the deep crater over here that's going to give magical items. But all of these are areas that are going to link in. My favourite bits, couldn't wait for the players to arrive here, is the werewolf cave and Harjint, which is the resident of werewolves. Huge werewolf fan. This is very much, I'd say, just have that sort of feel of inspired Curse of Strahd, say Solomon Kane, sort of witch hunter-in thing. And then we're finally into the castle itself once the players get close enough. And then we've got, once the players get to 7th level, it is recommended that you allow the players to go into the castle. Try not to get them there earlier, but there's going to be plenty of opportunity to fight and discover things on the way through. Got the stats then for the count and his wife. They don't get it on, but don't want to spoil it. But we're then into the castle. So there's 16 rooms, all the random encounters, details about the light construction, necromantic energy that's going on with the zombies around it. So as soon as I got into it, I was like, oh, garden below. That's what that means, because it's not, to me anyway, it's not always obvious of what exactly is going on. You'll also be using, as you can see here, sort of packs of cards to determine random bits and encounters that are going to go on in the castle itself, which is a nice sort of twist. And then finally down to the basement to go and find bad things. There was some traps things that hopefully, and the mausoleum that hopefully you will have. So I try not to spoil really what's going on in here. I know if you get this far in, you're going to be a games master, but you still want to go and discover this and make it your own anyway. New monsters. I think this is it 2 pages of new monsters? No, it's technically 4, but I count it as 2. So yeah, so we've got, Mumma, which is a forest spirit. I thought that was going to be a mummy, but it's not. We've got veteran slayers here, and then a nice section on vampires and thralls and vampire bats, etc. Okay, and then some quirks. So things like they can't cross through or over running water, which is that old traditional wife tale. Harmed by garlic as well. So some things that you don't want your players necessarily to discover. So that is the book. As with book 1, it does then lead a nice teaser into book 3 here. So and book 3 is going to be Tales of the Fae, which is going to give a hex crawl for first level characters inspired by the folklore of the British Isles. Okay, interested, piqued my interest. Fae Realms, adventures, rules and lore for the world of fairies. The Trickster, which is a spellcasting class, randomly decided for you each day. And then new monsters included the three-headed, what's that, Trenchend, I think Trishend, and the fiendish Barghest, and courts of Sheely and Unsheely Fae. Nice. Okay, right, let's just jump back to me and I'll give you, well, my final thoughts are kind of pointless, aren't they? Because you already know my final thoughts, because I love vampires, I love werewolves, I love the Curse of Strahd adventure. The whole Dracula discovery lich type stuff that's in here, as well as the world of Legos that the players will go out and discover. There's lots of interesting adventures, and see things like, it's even like things like the meteor that's going to give that magic item to the players right at the start, to the werewolf dens, the zombies, the night terrors. It's a really good adventure. Obviously, the downside is you're going to have to get your players up to 5th level. You could do this as a one-shot. Maybe with experienced players, I'm not sure I'd want to start a new adventure with 5th level characters. I think they might have just a little bit on their character sheet to sort of learn and to get on with. But again, Chris, volume 1, I was really impressed with. Volume 2, I think is better than volume 1. There's more in here because we've got the disease rules and stuff as well, which is interesting, which obviously, again, it just all links. What I like about both books that I've seen is it's technically an adventure module with some new rules, new classes and new monsters. And everything you need is already in the book. So you're going to need a copy of the core rule book, obviously, and then this, and then that's all you need. Yeah, the Slayer, really interesting character class. I'm looking forward to playing one. I know 2 of my group will instantly want to play the Slayer if we throw this, especially if I throw this adventure at them. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. So we've got another 6 parts or 6 volumes to do, depending on how long it takes me to get through them and whether Chris writes any more. But if you're going to buy it, please do use my affiliate link, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.